like a pencil.
I think that I may be the voice of my generation.
It's the titular role! In the sense that, no, you know what I mean?
Or at least a voice of a generation.
Hello, welcome back to Gatekeeping, the podcast where we take a deep dive into a pop culture phenomenon and decide if we let it through our gates.
They said we wouldn't be back.
I rise. They tried to pull us down and we said we're back.
They tried to kill us. They tried to cancel us.
The movies are back, baby.
The media, the culture, the newspapers, the politicians.
They said...
They all tried to tear us down, but Gatekeeping Podcast...
We prevail.
Is back.
We are back, baby.
How's your break been, James?
It was very restful, relaxing.
Really?
Watched a lot of movies, read many books, and yeah, it was good.
Did you live your life at all? Are we just consuming video?
I lived my life. I had a little weekend in the country. It was fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it. Had a chill one, you know. Just took some time for James. How about you?
Oh, look, I must have done even less.
Gotta go out and live, Sam.
Yeah,
live.
I try. I think I lived a little too much and then,
came crashing down.
I think my Munchausen, was it Munchausen syndrome?
Munchausen's is back.
Is it syndrome or disease?
I don't know. You're the expert.
I get it confused with that twink syndrome, Marfan syndrome.
Oh, yeah. If I had that,
stop.
I'd be snatched.
Stop it. Stop it. Well, anyway, we are back.
We're back. The movies are back.
We have some changes to the podcast this year.
There's a lot going on at Gatekeeping HQ.
Big announcements. So we're slightly changing things up. From now on, we are going to be doing 2 free episodes a month. Period. Free episodes is in the same gatekeeping that you know and love.
Yes.
Just
bi-weekly topics now.
Well, fortnightly.
Or bi-weekly.
Well, bi-weekly. Who knows what that means? It's not really a thing. So we'll say fortnightly, just to be clear.
You, Sam, any excuse to talk about Fortnite? Let me tell you.
Oh, we should do an episode on that.
I'll kill you.
Anyway, yes. So every 2 weeks, a beautiful, high quality, free episode. We're also launching a fabulous Patreon. For our most cherished gatekeepers. We love doing the podcast. We do. Gun to James's head right now.
It's just a lot of work, and it's loving work that we put our hearts into, our minds, our bodies, our souls, but it's a lot. We both work full time.
Yes.
And,
we love doing it. We love meeting people, and we love our little community. It just is a lot of work, and a Patreon allows us to get paid for, some of it.
Exactly.
And the way we're going to structure it, I think it means that our episodes will be better. We have more space to talk about stuff that we want to, and that I think you guys will want to hear. You better fucking want to hear it.
Because you're gonna.
You better subscribe.
So we have 3 tiers, each named after Oscar-nominated actresses. Redhead Oscar-nominated actresses. So the tiers start at $5 a month, and we have the Amy Adams tier, the Jessica Chastain tier, and the Julianne Moore tier. Julianne being the premier tier. Oscar winner, multiple nominees, just all time good time gal.
And I'm sorry that we had to put Amy Adams as the bottom tier.
She unfortunately does not have an Oscar, but
and if
Night Bitch is coming, so
it is coming, and it's also been a while since she's been in a good movie. So if suddenly, say in 10 years' time, if somehow these rankings change, we will also change the ranking of the Patreon. But let me just say for now, I think we're pretty set.
On the money. On the money. Yeah. Obviously, if you can't afford and you would like to subscribe, hit us up and we'll get something sorted for you. We don't want to
Yes, no one turned away for lack of funds.
Exactly.
So just let us know. We'll send you a code so it's free if you can't afford it. And free for First Nations people as well.
Of course.
Was that everything?
We're doing special episodes on the Patreon, of course. So we'll do a culture catch up, which is where we just like talk shit about what's going on in the greater world.
The greater world.
What's happening in our culture.
That would usually be tacked on at like the start of our episodes, but because of our schedules now, we're just gonna do a longer one during the month. So our first one will be next week.
Yes,
we'll be
very
chatting,
exciting.
Oscar nominations, movies we've seen over the break,
Many things,
the big stuff,
stuff, and then something that we're very, very excited for. We're starting a movie club, so you better get ready to watch some films because we are doing an Anne Hathaway movie club.
Yes, we're very excited about this. Once a month, we will be dissecting one of Anne's
seminal pictures.
Yes. Starting with the Princess Diaries, and we'll be going
1 and 2.
We haven't discussed that, but we will.
Well, stay tuned. I, as a Princess Diaries head, will be fighting hard for 1 and 2.
A Princess Diaries head.
Oh, I've read all 10 of those novels, don't you?
A diarrhea, if you will.
A diarrhea. Fuck off.
James has one of the biggest diarrheas in Melbourne. Yes. Well, yes. So we'll be chatting a movie of hers every month. We will post like a schedule on the, Instagrams or the Patreon or somewhere. So you can kind of keep up, watch along, and,
We're still working it out, but it's all exciting. It's all happening. And, as always, we really appreciate you guys and girls and theys tuning in, support. It's been really nice having people like message and ask when we're coming back, and guess what? We're back. And now let us get into this fabulous episode that we have.
So we're joined today by the only guest we really could have had for this topic.
Genuinely. Such a great get.
Such a get. Reached out to me and said they're a big fan of this this topic. Fan might be putting it lightly.
Literally.
But today we're joined by the wonderful comedian, writer, performer, producer. The list just goes
on and on.
And on. The list is as big as the topic we're talking about. Now, really.
Local Melbourne legend, queer elder.
Fuck you. Fuck you completely.
Queer elder Thomas Jaspers.
Hi. Oh my God.
Welcome.
Fuck you. Did I tell you the story about when I got called a queer elder by those kids?
No.
Have I told you that?
No.
A year or two ago, I was doing an interview. I got asked by these year 7s, like first year of high school kids, to do an interview and on Zoom, and they were like asking me questions about my life and all that sort of stuff. And at the end of the interview, they were like, "Do you have any questions for us?" And I said, "Oh, yeah. Why did you choose me?" Because I thought they were like interviewing like a local celebrity kind of a thing. And they go, "Oh, because we had to talk to a queer elder." I know. And I was like my face on the Zoom call, and their teacher was in the background. Like, the teacher could see my face just drop, and I was like, "Oh."
You were
thanks.
You were the oldest person they could think of.
Yeah. The oldest gay guy they could think of.
And that is an honor that will extend to the Gatekeeping podcast.
Fuck you.
The oldest guys.
The oldest gay guy that we know.
You're in for a treat.
I'm the oldest gay guy you know. Oh my God.
We've got someone.
I'm sure I am. It's fine.
We've got someone who was on board the damn Titanic.
Okay, fuck you.
We're talking about the Titanic.
We're talking about Titanic. Yay.
The ship of dreams.
And can we be clear that we're obviously going to cover the film Titanic?
Oh, of
But we're also talking about the ship,
the concept
Titanic.
of the Titanic.
And every affiliated piece of art that's come therefore after musicals,
plays, films, television programs,
books,
limited
novels,
series.
Any spin-off that the Titanic's done. This will be a 6-part series. We'll be here for a little while. Yeah.
Get comfortable.
We're actually starting a spin-off, essentially, of Gatekeeping.
Gatekeeping the Titanic.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you
were on the Titanic.
Fuck you.
You lived it. Are you okay? Is our first question.
Fuck off. We went to the exhibition. Listeners, hi. We went to the exhibition just before this, and I rocked up, and Sam goes, "Oh, you've dressed like you're on the Titanic." I was like, "No, I've just come in my clothes that I've been wearing all day, walking around looking like this, and apparently I look like a fucking extra in the third class."
You're dressed quite British today.
I'm wearing a knitted.
It's giving.
It's a cricket sort of top.
cricket jersey. So British.
Yeah.
Okay. Lots of other countries play cricket as well, but yeah, sure.
If I didn't know you and I saw you coming up, I wouldn't have been surprised if you said, "Hello there."
What, you think I've had a stroke as well?
Hello there. We're going on the big ship today. The Titanic.
I'm doing Mary Poppins.
Hope the food's soft
Dick
on
Van
there. I
Dyke.
don't have any damn teeth.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't a jag. It was a compliment.
Thanks.
It was a compliment. I love the Titanic and everyone
Yeah,
who...
so if you've been following Sam for the last week or so, you can see the hyperfixation is real.
Do you know, I've got to say, I have been enjoying your social media for once over the last week with all this Titanic stuff you've been posting, because it's quite fascinating, isn't it?
It's just, I mean, it was the ship of dreams.
It was.
Wasn't
For
it?
me, it was a slave ship.
Taking me back to America.
Which is a
Chains.
quote
We
from-
can just
which
do
we-
the whole film.
It's a quote from the movie, to be clear. James wasn't just saying that. So you saw Titanic in the cinemas.
So I saw the
Give us your Titanic story.
Let's go from the start.
Yeah.
For some reason, when I was a little kid, before the film came out, I really was obsessed with the Titanic.
Mm-hmm.
And I had like models of the Titanic, and I had books
Oh,
about the
wow.
Titanic. I loved the Titanic.
Mm-hmm.
And then they announced that they were making a film about the Titanic. I was like, oh my God, this is
Jesus Christ. How did you even find out? Did they have internet? No offense.
This
you
is before people
Sorry,
had the internet.
the
Yeah,
books.
this was in the
They wrote it in a book.
I read
They
it.
have like pop-up
I got
books and
the
shit.
afternoon paper, and I was listening to the Wire. Titanic film coming to Melbourne. I don't know. I heard about it on the radio, I guess. That's
Right.
what we did.
The Titanic is coming to Melbourne.
Gosh. The really creepy thing, I mean, probably all the people that listen to your podcast are your age, so they're not going to find this weird. But before, when we were talking about the film coming out, you were like, oh yeah, we weren't born.
Yeah.
And I remember going to see it. Anyway, so I was a kid and I found out the film was coming out, and it came out, when was it, like 1997? But it came out Boxing Day, as all the big films used to do.
Classic.
And we used to go on this family camping trip to Albury every Christmas. Sorry, I'm giving you the full detail here. But I was so insistent. I was like, well, we're not going this year because Titanic's coming out. I've been waiting for this film.
they have a cinema in
James
Albury,
Cameron's.
or?
No, not where we were camping. So I made Dad, like we were camping out in the bush near Albury. I made Dad drive us to Albury, like take a break from this camping
Fair.
trip to go and see it on Boxing Day morning.
I would do the same.
Yeah, I went to bed early on Christmas because I was like, no, I just want to sleep
be up and ready.
up and ready to
Gonna be
see
alert
this film,
and ready for Titanic.
on Boxing Day. So that's how I saw it. But then, because it was at the cinemas for like a year, because it was such a huge event, it's hard to explain how big it was.
It's weird.
We
I was
had like
listening-
6 TV
yeah.
stations at the time in Australia. Like there was nothing to watch, so you'd get really excited when something big was happening. And so I think I saw it at the cinemas like 12 times eventually. Yeah.
I feel like I would have done that if I was alive
Yeah.
back then.
Everyone was doing it. It was like a thing. How many times
Yeah.
have you seen it? It wasn't have you seen Titanic? It was like how many times have you seen Titanic?
I don't know why, like I was born in 98. Why wasn't this part of my childhood? Like why weren't my parents sitting me
I mean, it
down?
was still out when
Yeah,
you were
when we were
born.
born.
Yeah.
Why did they not sit me down and say, listen, kid, watch this?
You need to watch this film. I mean, they were probably too busy living it. I had my best friend's mum was obsessed with the Titanic as I was. It was a lot of young gay boys and middle-aged women.
Yeah.
And so she and I went to Sydney to go on the ride that they had at what was the theme park that Fox Studios. They used to have, so you know where Mardi Gras the after party is now. Used to be the Fox Studios. Like you could go and see the set from
true.
Babe, Pig in the City, and all that sort of
Mission
stuff.
Impossible?
No, I don't think that was there. They did have some of the Star Wars stuff there. Anyway, they had this massive ride, the Titanic ride. So I went with my friend's mum. Like my friend's mum dropped my friend off at my mum and dad's place. They looked after her, and just me and my friend's mum went up to Sydney to ride this ride 6
That's
times.
incredible.
And what happened?
It was a big deal.
What happened on the ride?
So I can't remember the start of it very well, but then at some point you either split into first class or third class.
Did you get split
And
up?
if you went, we did it a few times, so we could do a few
All the
each way. Yeah.
experiences. Yeah. Fair,
And
fair,
if
fair.
you went in first class, you got lowered. It was really well done. It was in like a big warehouse, so it was really dark when you came out onto the ship's balcony, and there was like these stars off in the distance, and you felt like you were literally standing on the edge of the Titanic, and you got into a life raft and got lowered down, and you were going down the side of the ship.
Whoa.
But if you went to third class, you ended up down in the.
They drowned you.
Yeah, the what?
They drowned you.
Yeah, seriously, you ended up down in the
the
pit, you know, like where the fires are and stuff. The gully,
yeah.
And then this like big wall crashes open and water like spurts out, and then all the lights go down and sad music plays, and you're like dead at the end of it. There was also the Irish party part in the middle. in the ride as well. You got to dance around this room.
Oh my God.
I'm gagged.
So you look, who knows why Fox Studios went bankrupt and did it.
That's kind.
Because we spent a lot. Mrs. Keane and I spent a lot of time writing that. Oh yeah, it's a friend of yours' mum.
Oh my fucking God.
Yeah.
Were there like actors in the? Oh.
Yeah, there was, but they were like stationed in each room. So you'd go in and they're like, "Welcome to the Irish party," you know, and then the music would start playing and the actors would start dancing around. And me and Mrs. Keane were dancing around a lot, obviously, but a lot of people.
Did you
stood
share
there
a
and wait
kiss?
for the No.
What the fuck?
Don't be weird. Like, I was a normal kid. I just was really obsessed with the Titanic. I was very gay.
Right. Okay.
Sorry. So that's where my.
If I could have gone back in time, I would, and I would go on the Titanic ride in Sydney. I mean, if
Probably
they
don't go the same day as me and Mrs. Keane. You'd get really sick of us gagging constantly.
I mean, I'd be a part of it. I mean, to find community like that. I feel like, you know, listen, if any theme park people are listening, let's build this.
Find that if that is
Movie
lying
world,
somewhere,
Dream World, get it happening.
Reopen it,
one of the worlds, please. So, okay, well, we should talk about our experience at the Titanic exhibition, which they promised, you know, artifacts from the Titanic, from the deep that they've recovered.
They've recovered, and the artifacts were recovered. Many things were recovered.
A lot of junk.
A lot of shit.
Mostly junk, if we're being honest.
Yeah. I agree. Look, there was a few really cool little pieces, and I think the challenge for the people putting the exhibition together is you've got like a couple of pieces of broken china, and like a stick,
a toilet.
Let's see how we can stretch
and then
this.
you've got to make that a $35 experience. You know,
Yeah.
Was it a $35 experience?
I would have paid more, to be honest. I loved it.
I think they could have improved. So to fill, for people that haven't been to it, to fill the space, they recreate a lot of the sets so that you can, you know, take a selfie on the steps of the Titanic.
But they wouldn't let you climb the steps.
But you can't even climb the steps.
Stupid.
But then the lighting was really fucking shit.
Yeah, exactly.
So the photos we took all look horrible. You probably won't see them on social media because I've got a big forehead.
James had it with me. Would not take pictures of me at the exhibition. I'm saying, James, oh my God, another picture. And you know what? Like, people died, all right, on that shit.
Yeah, you should be respectful. You should not be making a tourist attraction
people
out
nearly
of
died of boredom in that exhibition.
Let me tell you that.
I was trying to honor them by raising awareness.
Sam dressed in all black in a Sex and the City t-shirt.
Can you wear this to my funeral, by the way, please?
I did.
If this is your mourning outfit.
I did consciously wear all black to pay respect to the individuals that died. And the Sex and the City shirt to kind of, it's kind of old and new, like...
Well, they died so you could live.
As Rose.
Exactly.
Yes.
Sex and the City.
I just, you know, I was bringing it was a commentary. My outfit was a commentary, really, on the times. And not everyone got it in there, and it wasn't for everyone to get. So,
No.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we got to see an egg cup. Did
we saw a finger bowl.
Finger bowl, egg cup.
Coffee machine.
Ginormous coffee
These are the
machine.
highlights, by the way, as well. We're cutting out the boring stuff. I mean, essentially, it was a lot of sort of rusty old stuff that had been sitting at the bottom of.
Can
we tell them what we did that we're not sure if we were supposed to?
Oh, we touched the hull.
We touched the
hull. Well,
there was all these display cases were, you know, very safe.
Cased, yeah.
Yeah. But then there was this one that just had this perfect finger-sized hole in it, right, like an inch away from a piece of the hull, and we were like, "Are we supposed to?"
Put your finger.
But there's no sign there saying "sticky finger" in this,
and and an alarm was ringing,
and there was an alarm ringing at the same time. Coincidentally,
most of the time we were in there was a huge alarm ringing and we figured someone tried to, you know, crack open. They wanted that egg cup.
Yeah, but someone thought it was an actual toilet.
Tried to wash their hands in the basin.
Yeah, but we touched the hull. It was pretty cold.
Yeah.
It was.
And that's all we have to say about that.
Yeah. Did you learn much?
Me? Well, you know, I had done a lot of pre-reading before the exhibition, so I honestly didn't know a lot. Well, sorry, I didn't read a lot because I kind of knew you know, and we all know the broad points of, you know, question to the iceberg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He ignored the warnings. Well, not really, Well, we've seen the film. It's all in the film, really.
Exactly.
But what did I learn? Well, so the most special part of the exhibition, I'd say, is so it becomes quite dramatic at one stage when we've hit the iceberg.
Oh, yeah.
Because we
they
kind
have
of,
the red lights.
we kind of tell a story. Yeah, they're like, steal the dampens or something.
Shut all the dampers. Shut all the dampers.
There we go.
So we were like, gag. Oh my God,
Yeah.
we're going to hit it. And then you get into a room where you can touch
Ice.
ice.
But you can go to your freezer and do that as well as the thing. Like, this is not
No, it's
groundbreaking.
not special ice.
Well, this was ice at a particular temperature.
Freezing.
Yeah.
Well, it was like
So-
2 degrees or something.
0. Because
0. Oh,
any higher.
Yeah, it doesn't freeze.
But the water was 2 degrees? I feel like I read the number 2 somewhere.
Well,
I read the number 2 in that exhibition somewhere.
That's why they all froze.
Does that help?
'Cause it was so cold.
It was bloody freezing. Well, yeah, we got to touch
You got to touch a wall of ice.
which was the same temperature as the iceberg, right?
Yeah.
Was it?
It was bloody cold, wasn't it? We all had a touch.
Yeah, we all had a touch.
This is fascinating.
Maybe a lick. We might have had a lick of the iceberg.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say the exhibition
was
was
shit.
not great.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I feel really bad saying that because I love the Titanic and I was excited to see all those pieces and that sort of stuff. But sorry.
Just got
it was
kicked?
really just. I'm sorry. I just kicked you. Need you. The exhibition was really just a whole lot of like things that had been someone had done on PowerPoint, on Photoshop, and
Yeah.
had printed them out and stuck them to the wall, which could have just been like a PDF that they could have sent us.
I loved it. I loved being a
You're
part.
very easily impressed though. So.
I loved being with the community, the fellow fans.
See,
I
I
thought
didn't feel like I was. I felt
Yeah,
like
the
I was
vibe
with
was off in there.
a few fair weather Titanic fans.
Yeah.
The exhibition was wrong as well. There was that thing about that guy. Like, there's this
Yeah.
Australian guy, and they're like, not much is known about him before his life. I listened to 2 podcasts about him in the last week. He lived on Lord Howe Island. He was like, there's a whole, his history is very well known, and it just says not much is known about him.
I think the
Get
most
stuff.
interesting thing
Melbourne
that I
Museum.
learned. I've always said that I'm the Molly Brown of Melbourne, and as they were like, Molly Brown sang and kept them entertained while they were
Pops
waiting
up
for the
from the
people
on the
bottom of the
lifeboat.
on the
Spa
lifeboats. And
wet
I
on
said,
Wellington.
that's me on the lifeboats. But that being said, if I was,
You've been tossed overboard.
no, I would have been, do you hear the people sing? Singing
Yeah.
this song?
Can I say, sorry, side note, I listen to your podcast and I'm always very impressed with your music theatre
Thank you so much.
knowledge. No, it's very impressive.
Thank you.
Don't
It's my special interest.
don't encourage
Sam,
them.
You don't get it.
I'm not entirely sure why you're on this podcast, to be honest. I've never heard someone go on a podcast to talk about things like specific topics and go, oh, well, I don't really know. I was on my phone the whole time while I was watching that. So
Get him. Get
I think you're very good. You're very good. You're very funny, but you're not really.
engaged.
Well, you haven't really experienced the thing that you're talking about, which sort of defeats the purpose of.
Listen,
Yeah.
experience something on the phone is as valid as real life. There, I said it.
Experience
Well, I'm just
something
saying-
on the phone is valid as real life.
Fucking print that out and put that on a quote and stick it up at the Titanic.
I'm just saying.
Imagine how it's touched the sky.
I'm just saying. If I'm on my phone, that's part of my experience.
Your experience. Yeah, okay,
And then
cool.
that sort of becomes part of the
Yeah.
artwork.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Good.
Sorry. So you're Molly Brown.
Yeah.
You just
So-
decided you're Molly
I've
Brown.
always
If you were a
said-
character in
For
Titanic.
those
but-
who are not aware, Molly Brown, played by Kathy Bates in the film.
Camp.
The unsinkable Molly Brown.
The unsinkable Molly Brown.
Have you seen the
was a
musical
real
The
life
Unsinkable
character.
Molly Brown?
I have listened to it.
Period.
Real life character.
Yeah.
Portrayed fairly realistically according to all counts in the film.
By Kathy.
Kathy Bates.
A larger than life.
Come on, gentlemen.
Character.
Let's get
New
the
money.
show on the road.
She's a very kind woman.
That's what they've always said about me. James is so kind.
Not heard that from anyone. But when they were getting away, she was like, Turn
Turn the boat around. boy."
these damn boats around. We can fit more people in here. And they were like, we'll bloody throw you overboard if you keep yapping on.
Then she sang.
Your accent work is brilliant. Please keep
What
doing
was she singing, do you think, on the
Les
boat?
Mis. Do you hear
It wasn't
the
it wasn't they hadn't
Oh no, it was look down.
Yeah.
What would I sing on the
You wouldn't, because you're not Molly Brown.
I can-
You'd be Rose's mum. Will they be assigned according to class?
You know the money's gone. All of it.
I feel like, yeah, because the whole women and children thing first.
I think you could pass as a child. I think you could pass for a child in 1912.
I don't think you could
You
pass
got
for a
that-
woman though.
Excuse me, can I get on the boat?
My father's died and I'm all my mother has.
I'd be on my knees. Excuse me,
Yeah.
can I get on there?
I think you could pass for, an Edwardian child.
I feel like I wonder if any of the men. I feel like if I was on there, I could have come up and talked my way on that boat. If you say you have somewhere to be, somewhere important to be.
Somewhere important to be. Sorry, I've got a really
I've got really important business in
a
New York
really
to attend
important
to.
appointment to
Yeah.
get to. I must be on this boat.
Me going, yeah, I've got a doctor's appointment tomorrow.
I've got to get my prep prescription. Let me on.
It's hard to get in the sky.
sorry,
I'll just get on the next one. Doctor's appointment. You
There's stories that came out after that, like men were dressing up as women and that sort of stuff.
Fear.
Drag.
Which was never proven
Unclockable.
and has been dismissed. I love the concept though that someone in 1912 was traveling from London to New York with a drag bag. Like they just had that in their room. They're like, oh, pop on a frock and a lash. Here we go. Hello.
You were doing Granny Bingo on this. On
Yeah,
the
that
thing,
was
weren't
me.
you?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a woman and
Yeah.
I'd like to get on this boat.
Yeah.
Let me on, please.
Yeah.
And I'm a woman.
Don't ask any questions.
And also, it's like, what would you even talk about once you're on the boat? Because they were on there for a few hours.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like,
Quite a few hours.
You
yeah.
you were saying in the exhibition that you'd want to sit sort of.
I don't know what's going on.
I think
there,
sort of
sorry.
like the tram. So, when you're on the tram,
Yeah.
everyone's got a favorite seat on the tram.
Yes.
I would want to be at either one very end of the lifeboat or the other very end of the lifeboat facing out to sea. Which is where I always sit on the tram because
Yeah.
I always get someone weird sitting opposite me wanting to talk to me.
If I was on a
and I would
lifeboat-
get that on the lifeboat.
I'd have a book and my AirPods,
yeah.
and I'd say, "No, thank you. Leave me alone."
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry your
Sunglasses
husband's
on.
died.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you've lost everything. I'm sorry.
I'm reading Pride and Prejudice.
Exactly, yeah.
You'd be rolling your eyes.
Yeah. I'm listening to the Gatekeeping podcast. I can just see Sam just live tweeting the whole ship sinking thing. Like, I roll these vests, whatever, with a funny little meme
Literally.
of someone in a vest from a 90s movie.
Sam's like, "Oh, they're letting the third class people on. What about me?"
WTF. Yeah.
I feel like, I mean, it would be such a me thing to happen if I went on holiday, spent all my money on this damn holiday to go on a ship and then it bloody sunk.
Yeah.
Like if I was on this ship, everyone would have heard about this and gone, oh, of course that would happen to Sam.
Yeah, exactly.
But if
yeah.
I was on the Titanic, things would have gone very differently. I can assure you.
Why I wouldn't have hit the iceberg?
No,
Why?
You would have
I would have known. I would have said, "Steer
So,
clear."
so you would have been Molly
Iceberg
Brown.
ahead.
You would have been Molly Brown at the front of the boat going, nah, there's an iceberg.
Sun's coming.
Something's coming.
Turn
I
the
can
ship
sense
around.
it. Yeah.
I can feel it in my waters.
Yeah.
Turn this damn ship around.
Yeah.
I smell ice.
I would have been arguing that it never said that there was no limit on how many meals you can have in the dining room, and they actually can't stop me. And what are they going to do? And I'd like to speak to the manager. Unlimited buffet means unlimited.
We got to see the menus. At
I
the
don't
exhibition.
care. Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
There was, I mean, I'd be having the salmon for every damn meal.
Yeah.
The
Duck
asparagus
parfait.
and-
Oh,
Yeah.
gorgeous.
How do you think they would have prepared the salmon? Because I would like it with sort of like ginger and sort of chili, like, or maybe like lime and honey. Like,
Yeah. It's 1912. Like, I don't know if they're going too fancy. Like, things are just sort of cooked or not cooked, I think. Oh, no, first class.
didn't have, like,
they did have,
ottolenghi.
like, French cuisine in first class, I
they
think.
didn't have ottolenghi back then. Damn. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's talk about the lovely film.
Okay. Which one? I've seen them all.
Is there multiple?
There's so many
There's one
films
from
about
like the
Titanic.
20s, isn't there?
No, there's not from the 20s,
Or like
no.
the 30s? There's like an old.
There's one from the 50s.
Maybe that.
But, this is camp. I think this is camp. People
Okay.
might not find this camp. This might be dark. There's a film called A Night to Remember, which was sort of considered the greatest Titanic film until the 1997 film. And some people still say A Night to Remember is a better film.
The true fans.
Arguable.
Period.
But it is a very good film and it holds up. You should watch it.
Who's in
but I can't remember. Okay. But that's not the first Titanic film to be made. The first Titanic film to be made was by Hitler and Goebbels in World War II as a propaganda film. They made a film about the Titanic, and Goebbels, because he in between, being really horrible, really fancied himself as like a bit of a cinema file. So he spent a huge amount of money on making this Titanic film in World War II. But the storyline was about this German that's like trying to warn the British people about how arrogant and pompous they are. And he's like the savior. This German guy's like the savior of the film. And the moral of the story is the British are bad and the Germans are good. But it's all set on the Titanic. But the effects were, it was obviously morally a really bad film, but the effects were really, really good. So then when the British were making, or the Americans actually, and British were making the Titanic film in the 50s, because this one was made under Nazi regime, the copyright didn't apply to it. So a lot of the shots of the ship breaking up and sinking and all that sort of stuff are taken from the Nazi film and put into the Western film, seamlessly edited in, so you wouldn't know that they were being taken from a Nazi film. They just stole that footage, and they were like, copyright doesn't apply because it was from the Nazi regime, so it's free for anyone to use.
You're a true historian.
Have you seen the Nazi film?
No, but I did find a copy of it recently. I haven't watched it yet.
Movie night.
It'd be worth watching.
Yeah.
Were you trolling through the state library in the catacombs looking for
I just listened. I'm part of an online community group.
What is it? Titanic mums or something?
I don't want to talk about this. When I tell you I'm really a big fan of Titanic, and this extends to general shipwrecks now because I sort of run out of stuff to learn about.
Have you heard about The Wager?
What's that?
Oh, well, okay.
Oh, here we go.
The Wager is the one I've been reading about, this shipwreck from the 1700s.
Right.
Oh,
see, I more specialize in 1800 to 1950. But
well, you've got to read The Wager.
Okay.
I think I spoke about it on the last episode, but everyone go to the store, buy a copy of The Wager.
I almost bought a copy.
Is
of
this
The
a
Wager.
novel?
It's a novel, yeah.
But it's a real
non-fiction.
Ship as well. Yeah. Okay, cool.
So that's not a
So
novel.
what's this Facebook group you're in?
I'm in quite a few, but the online community that I was referring
the community.
is Honor
Nazis
and
for
Glory.
Titanic.
It's called.
Sorry, what's it called?
Honor and Glory. And so they're recreating the Titanic piece by piece digitally, so that you can like walk around it.
Oh, wow.
In minute detail.
Like Minecraft.
Yeah, but like
this-
a really detailed version of that. And you can donate money. I might have given them a larger chunk of money. I don't know. But then there's also like all these other videos as well of other ships that have sunk that I love watching.
How close are they to doing the recreation?
Well, they just re-release it every year as like a bit here. Oh, look, we've improved. With the boilers now have like moving flames, and the detail on the architraves is a bit better now, and the carpet.
How long have you been doing this for?
Here's another fact about the Titanic. Sorry, I just said carpet, and I'm getting excited now. So you know lino, like what your grandma has in her kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what that is, like the cheap tacky stuff. Yeah, the stuff that you've got in your kitchen here, Sam. So the Titanic was covered in lino. That's what they used for the floors because it had just been invented. And it was so fancy and so expensive to have lino in 1912 because it was this brand new thing that all of the areas that weren't carpeted were covered in lino instead of tiles.
Isn't lino like waterproof? Like they should have done the whole damn thing in lino.
Yeah, they should have done the whole damn thing in lino. But it also doesn't biodegrade. So eventually, as the Titanic continues to rot away, because all the irons get eaten away by that stuff.
Oh my God, yeah.
There's just going to be layers of lino sitting in the middle of the ocean forever.
The fish are going to be like, this is nice.
Yeah, it's really nice.
This is really special.
That's what I mean. I mean,
so that's camp. That's gay.
Work. Lino.
That's like, you can imagine the sea creatures at the bottom, like picking through all this garbage.
Yeah.
Oh my God, look, plates for dinner.
Has anyone seen an egg holder anywhere, an egg cup anywhere here? Shit.
So we should talk about the film. What I think is probably the best film ever made, if I'm being totally real. I really think this, there's a really fair argument for this to be the best film ever made.
We saw the Titanic the other day at the IMAX.
Yes.
And let me tell you.
3D.
The movies are back.
I mean, you can tell it was good because there were two older women sitting behind us and just the whole film.
It was probably me.
They were just getting their fucking line.
Billy Zane, like they didn't. Like,
Billy Zane is so hot. Sorry.
He's so good in it.
At one point, coward.
Yeah.
From behind, coward.
Work.
That, and that's a powerful film because they were fucking in it.
Yeah.
But one thing that, I mean, old Rose does piss me off a little bit, if I'm being honest.
Be grateful they cut her down to what she got. Have you seen the
I've seen the deleted scenes.
Oh,
The one where
deleted scene at the end.
where she lets him hold
so
the...
corny. And then
Yeah.
she throws it over the end.
But she teaches everyone...
She teaches everyone a lesson. Oh, it's so painful. Can you imagine if they'd left that in?
That would have ruined the whole film.
No,
for those
it would
who-
not be the film it was.
No, literally.
Now, there is some school of thought in my online communities that was a decoy that James Cameron filmed so that no one would know what sometimes directors will film several endings, so no one really knows what the ending is. So whether or not that was actually ever going to be part of the film, who knows? But if you've not seen that
The
clip,
deleted
it is
scene.
the alternate ending to Titanic.
Stupid.
But
Stupid.
camp.
She mainly pisses me off because in the beginning they find this drawing at the bottom of the ocean and then she sees it on TV and she says that's me.
Yeah.
And then she travels to the boat and she brings
All this shit.
all her photos, her pictures, her
I can't travel without my photos.
she's kind of we don't talk about how Rose was a bit autistic, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
You would know.
I mean, she even brings her fish.
Yeah, she does.
Well, she knew she was going to die.
Yeah.
So she
I would
wanted
like to know what her, because presumably her and her granddaughter
Yeah.
had to fly from wherever they live, that looks like, North America somewhere, to an airport to then get onto a helicopter to then fly out to this boat.
Well, they
that
probably-
whole time, did she not explain to her granddaughter why they're going to fly out to a research vessel in the middle of the ocean? Like, her granddaughter's sitting there going, I didn't know any of this. You really think you're on that ship, Grandma? And yeah.
They just sat in silence.
They just sat in silence the whole time.
I mean, it was probably
Grandma, why have we got your fucking goldfish on the airplane with us?
It was probably one of those things where she was like, I'm paying, come along. It was like,
Yeah.
Well, they would have paid. They would
yeah.
have paid to get her out. And
this old bat is going to take me on
Yeah,
a trip. Like,
yeah.
if my grandma suddenly was like, you know what, I was on the Titanic.
Yeah.
Come on this, cross-country journey. I'd be like, let's go.
Fuck it. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah. I mean, the granddaughter doesn't have a lot going on, I think. By the
No.
Yeah. But then, she's, because, spoiler alert, but she is,
The ship sinks.
she's wearing what is it? The heart of the
Heart of the
or
ocean.
something? And, did she not have to check that at all? Like, she just flies. I guess it's pre 9/11, right?
Wait, when's she wearing the heart of the ocean?
She's wearing it the whole time.
No, she's not. She's got it in a bag,
she?
you fool, because she's got the lovely necklaces. You weren't paying attention.
You mean like when she's an old lady and she's
Yeah,
talking to the guy's like, and their ass is sticking out the water, and this is a big
Yeah.
ass. We're talking 100 tons. And
being insensitive.
No, she's not just wearing the heart of the ocean, then like waving in their face while they're still searching
like,
for
la,
it.
la, la,
No, I
They've
thought
still got submarines going.
I
out
thought it was
looking
kind of
for it.
concealed in another necklace.
Nah.
It's kind of a storyline I
Nah,
created.
she has it hidden in
No,
her
because
pocket.
we don't know.
There's a storyline.
We don't know that she's got it
She has
still.
it until the end.
It's true.
Yeah.
I created this storyline for myself.
I like it.
That guy who's being crass about the Titanic singing, that was James laughing in the exhibition. Laughing.
Yeah, all the dead
Whoa.
people.
Yeah. I mean, I was there sort of being respectful.
Respectful and you're all black.
I was Molly Brown. I was like, what a memory is.
James was laughing. It was really disgusting, actually. It was really disgusting.
I did see a lady tut at you, but
Really?
no, I'm joking. I think it was more at the Sex and the City shop. Speaking of Molly Brown and deleted scenes, have you seen the deleted scene where the ship is grazing past the iceberg?
No.
And
Good
they
golly.
cut to Molly Brown and she's like sitting alone in the dining room, like, because, all the other women are bitches. So she's
Yeah.
sitting alone in the dining room, like what I would be doing. And they're getting the waiters to bring her more drinks. And she goes, "Can I have some more ice here, Sonny?" And then in the background, you just see the iceberg go past in the window. It's so corny.
What?
And
I mean,
so camp.
that's writing. That's
yeah.
writing 101.
Can I have some more ice here, Sonny?
That's one thing. Another thing about the film that kind of pisses me off in the first half is that there's so many like, this old ship, they say she's unsinkable.
Something Picasso.
Oh my God.
They may as well, every time they say it's unsinkable, they may as well look at the camera and wink.
Yeah.
You know?
This old thing is unsinkable.
Yeah.
We don't need the lifeboats. We've only got 12. Or whatever the fuck he said.
They had 12, yes. That's one of my favorite characters in the film, played by Victor
Victor
Garber.
Garber.
One of our favorite gay guys. Shout out to Victor
Literally.
Garber, the gay guy. He plays the designer of the Titanic.
Oh, is he gay?
Yes.
The guy that's from Legally Blonde.
Yeah.
Oh, I love him. Yeah. He's fantastic.
He plays the designer of the ship, and he's kind of moping around the whole time, being like,
Mr. Andrews.
I told them to put more lifeboats.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Is it,
Scottish, Irish vibe.
She's like, forgive me, but I've done the calculations in my head, and For the amount of lifeboats by the capacity, it doesn't seem that not enough by half, dear Rose.
Oh, you're very sharp, Rose. Women doing
Nothing
that.
gets by you, does it, Rose?
I mean, she's sharp.
And then it comes back.
She's sharp as a tack.
Oh, that Rose.
But he decides to go. I like when they see him in the bows of the ship. He's staring at the clock.
Oh, and he's like, nah, I'm gonna.
like-
Which someone saw. That's from an interview. So there's also the other thing we forget is that because of the time the Titanic happened. Sorry, this podcast is going to go for hours.
I love it. Let's see if we can go longer than the movie.
Because of the time when the Titanic happened, people lived long enough to then go on talk shows in the 70s and 80s.
Jesus
so you can go onto
Christ.
YouTube and watch people, and they're like, and our next guest was on the Titanic. And there's an interview, and it's this show from England, I think, and it's people that have lived through interesting things. And there's a person that was on the Titanic sitting next to someone that was sitting in the theater when Lincoln got shot.
Wow.
Doesn't that blow your mind?
That's fucked.
The Blue Lincolns.
Yeah.
And they're sitting there on Jimmy Fallon.
And yeah.
And he's saying,
whatever
spin this wheel.
30s version of that, 40s
That's
version of that.
kind. I want to find that.
Yeah.
Jimmy Fallon making them do an impression. Of
Yeah. We're going to recreate that now.
I bet it was gold there.
Sorry, I just went on a sidetrack.
No, please.
But
I mean,
what were you talking about?
Well, we're talking about the film.
Titanic.
Which,
Yeah. Oh, so we got to the bit where she gets.
We've spoken a lot
Off
about
the
what's
helicopter.
not in the film, what was
Yeah.
deleted.
Sorry.
But I mean, the whole first half is the love story between Jack and Rose.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I mean, the whole film hinges on the first half, really.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because what watching it again, I was like, you're just so in on their relationship.
Yes.
Like they feel completely like
It's well written, isn't it?
it's just
It's
not-
such a good.
Often a good action film has a sloppy
Yeah.
love story written into it.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what you're getting at with it being a perfect film, because it's got really good action, really good love story.
I mean,
And I think the thing that gags me is it's like, you know, the Titanic's going to sink, someone's going to die, it's all sad and shit, but it still has a happy ending. Like that's,
Well-
happy in like the sense that it's like uplifting and you're not like leaving on a note of like, well, they all died. It's like they're
she
going,
even dies in the end. Though.
yeah, but they're like in heaven and
Oh,
they're
okay,
coming up
yeah,
together
yeah.
and it's like all like,
Yeah.
they
it's
do such a
beautiful.
good job of almost making you forget what's going to happen because
Yes.
the love story
Yeah.
really sweeps you away. And, you know, to the point where they're doing the spinning and the Irish dancing.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
you're in the
yeah.
POV of them
Yeah.
and the camera. Like,
But then they also do a really good thing of every now and then, like, I feel like when they're spinning an Irish dancing, you see that little girl having a smile, you're somehow like reminded that little girl's probably going to die as well. Like, it's really great.
Yeah.
You know.
it's just
Pathos
pitch perfect. I
throughout
mean,
the
performances, Leo, 21, he was Twink Supreme.
Yeah.
Surprise.
Twink
Did that
Supreme.
awaken something
Had
in you?
he just done The Mask? Was it the
Gilbert
Iron
Grape.
Mask? Or was that? No, Gilbert Grape was a few years earlier.
Yeah.
And then the Iron Mask, was that just before or just after Titanic? It was around about the same
I
time.
don't know
I
that
don't know
one.
what that is.
I mean,
Sorry.
Rose meeting a twink. It's 2 days on the ship, and she spends the rest of her damn life thinking. 84 years.
That would be
thinking
you,
about it.
bitch.
Well,
That is
that's-
you.
That's what I'm saying. 100%. If I was Rose in this situation, I would be like, 100%. Let's die together.
Yeah.
Like you're the most beautiful twink that's ever shown an interest in me.
Yeah.
Like let's die.
Yeah.
Come on. Right?
I'll go before with you. Yeah.
That's
Billy
me. Like
Zane. Yeah.
that's me climbing off the lifeboat.
I
Because
don't know. I probably would go for Billy Zane.
Yeah,
I think, the other thing that people aren't thinking about is, like, he's really hot in the film. He would have smelt really bad.
I think he'd be fine.
No.
You shut up.
Sometimes. You know, it's seasoning.
And that's like third class Musk. There was no. He was someone who was didn't have a home before he got on the ship, and he just happened to find out he was going on the ship that day, so he wasn't prepared for it. He hasn't gone down for a rinse in the river, and then on the ship you just had a base. Like third class just had like a little basin in their room to sort of splash your face and your pits.
But
he's not.
He I think he would have had a shower when
He would
was
have had a
in
shower
Molly
with Kathy
Brown.
Bates, yeah.
Yeah. And I think, you know,
Should have
what
been like, oh, let me have a look at this Sunny Jim in the
Yeah,
shower.
true. Yeah, you and my son are just about the same size.
I think we're forgetting his joie de vivre, which makes him so attractive.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think it's implied that he's very good at sex because, you know, he's been to Paris.
Oh, see, I thought it was sort of implied that, like, maybe he didn't really know what he was doing because he was, you know, he's so nervous and he's shaky and she's like
Yeah, 'cause
calming
I-
him down. I felt like she had sex with Billy Zane quite a few times and she knew what she was doing
Yeah.
in the car.
I thought
and
he was-
Well, because he was like, I never had sex with those ladies that I painted.
Yeah,
They were just
remember?
my models.
Did
You
he
couldn't
say
make a
that?
film in the 90s where one of the main characters had sex.
Yeah.
Especially the man. It
Yeah.
was not right. I thought he was cold in the car, and then they.
No, I think he was just because she's like, you're shaking, and he's like, just. Doesn't he say he's nervous or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's. So, I mean, when they fuck in the car, like
The hand.
that's like sexy. Like we don't have sexiness in
Yeah.
movies anymore.
There was a time. I'm going to go for another flashback to 1997.
Here we go.
There was a time. So I used to stay up late because I was like, 11 or something at this point. I used to stay up late to listen to, because you'd call up double TFM and vote for the charts and all that sort of stuff. There was a time where the charts in Australia, the number 1 song was My Heart Will Go On, and the number 2 song was the My Heart Will Go On disco remix.
Period.
And they would like alternate between first and second place, and the radio station would have to play both of them back to back. So there was a disco remix of My Heart Will Go On, and the video clip was like the hand appearing, but in random places. So like at a laundromat, like on the glass of the washing machine, or like on like a takeaway restaurant's window and stuff. Like that was the video clip.
Oh my god, this sounds amazing. I feel like Celine gets a lot of shit because it is a very corny song, but I think in the context of the film,
It's
Brilliant
fucking
film.
great.
I mean, the film is a melodrama, really,
Yeah.
in terms of their relationship.
Yeah.
And this, like, when you take anything out of that context, it seems ridiculous. Like, the famous scene, I'm king of the world, or, when they're flying.
Flying, Jack.
That is corny, but when you're watching it in
You're
the,
so in it.
I'm
And
like,
Yeah.
The
that's
way-
a cry.
So well done.
that it sweeps you up. Like, very unlike me. I was in a foul mood going into this movie.
What a surprise.
I was like, fucking watching Titanic at 8 p.m. on a school night. Are you kidding me? This film goes for
It is
fucking
long.
ages.
It goes for longer than the ship took to sing.
Really?
Period.
There you go.
And then, I was like, immediately started, and I was like, wow.
Taken away.
Came out, and I was like, this
I'm
is
so jealous.
the best movie I've ever seen in my life. I'd seen it before.
Yeah,
But,
you
like-
haven't. I've seen it so many times that I can't really like absorb it anymore. Like it's just I'm watching it, but I know exactly what's going to happen frame by frame, so it's not really an experience.
I probably hadn't seen it for like 10, 15
Oh, I'm
years
so
before
jealous.
that. Because we can edit this bit out, but the last time I saw Titanic, I walked in on my parents having sex afterwards. So
We need to leave
That
that in.
is a traumatic experience. They need to make a fucking 3-hour, 15-minute film about that.
Can we leave this
we
in?
watched Titanic. Yeah, they're not going to listen. We watched Titanic as a family, and then I don't know why, but I went into their room like they got horned up by the Titanic.
Oh my god.
That's the
And I
thing.
would
That was the
I
last
would've
time you
been-
watched that.
I reckon.
Were you a bit nervous when you walked out of the cinema this
like-
time? Or did you have like,
Well, it'd be even worse. My parents are divorced now.
well, yeah, and weird if they're doing it at IMAX. Yeah.
There's
I
always
think-
weird shit happening in that courtyard.
It's quite disrespectful to fuck after
Watching
to
Titanic, yeah.
the victims.
But maybe they saw that car scene and they were a bit like,
But then there's
Should we go get in the
there's a lot of
Camaro?
scenes after that. There's like
in the car. I don't know.
you
I
know
don't know what car your parents drive.
I mean all the scenes after that.
Should we
are
get
just-
in the 4-wheel drive, love?
I mean I was not horny at all after watching that movie. Like I actually got home and I couldn't sleep because I was so sad. I was
Yeah.
so moved by the film. I stayed up for about 3 hours listening to My Heart Will Go On, just remembering the victims. Mainly Jack and Rose, who weren't real, but they were
You can always
real.
alternate with the disco remix.
Yes,
You
now I
can see
know.
what the original
Lift
is.
Now I
the
know.
spirits a little bit.
That's my thing is like Jack and Rose allegedly weren't real, but they are completely real to me. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And they're as real as anyone else.
Yeah.
Who
I think that was like really smart. So James Cameron is one of those people that obsesses over something for a long period of time to make sure and can't.
well, especially the ocean.
Yes.
Yes.
Well,
He
yeah.
loves to see.
And so he like knew he can name like all of the different people that were on the ship, and he knew what they did and where they're from and that sort of stuff. So I think he really cleverly wrote these fictional characters that touch on all these real characters in it
Yeah.
for authenticity. Like that gives it some authenticity
Exactly.
and you feel more connected.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's very smartly done.
I actually didn't realize on my first watch of the film at the very end. I'm getting moved talking about it, but when Rose is on the door and Jack has passed, and they make he makes her promise, or she promises, I'm gonna live like for you, and then there's a moment where she lays on the door. She thinks about just giving up,
Yeah.
but then she says no,
Yeah.
like I'm
Yeah.
gonna live. And she does. Like I was
But then
crying.
when she's lying in bed, the old Rose is lying in bed at the end, and we pan across all of the photos that she's brought with us.
And she
we
rode.
see-
She rode a horse.
She rode the horse. She
She's-
went to the carnival.
She went in the airplane.
Yeah.
She was doing a little too much.
She was busy.
Yeah. She
Yeah,
said,
like-
I'm gonna live.
What was
Yeah.
her job? Like just being a woman.
Well, because also when he put the Heart of the Ocean into the coat that she ends up with, remember he's also stuffing all that cash into his pockets?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, so he's emptying the safe and putting all this stuff into his pockets, and then he puts that coat on her.
Wow.
And then she has, so she's kept the Heart of the Ocean, but she's probably spent all the cash that he put in the pockets.
True.
She was moral, but not that moral.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I guess she used that to start her new life.
Yeah, exactly,
Because she
yeah.
changes her name at the
Yeah,
end.
and then married, and yeah.
Yeah, that's the other thing. The guy who she did marry, like, she obviously could not give a fuck.
Forever, like, was just
Yeah.
thinking about Leonardo DiCaprio.
This twink she spent 2 days
Yeah,
with,
yeah.
which, you know, again, fair enough.
Yeah.
But like, she's had children and grandchildren with this man. But she's like, I think about this night where this twink drew a picture of me. It was the most erotic experience of my life,
Yeah.
she says.
Yeah.
God.
Brave of him to marry her too. She
Well, she didn't tell anyone.
cheated on her first fiance. Second lover mysteriously goes missing.
Ooh.
But she says she didn't tell anyone, right?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, no
Yeah.
one knows. Yeah.
What do we think of the musicians who were playing until the very end?
Do you have a fact about this?
No, I would
do,
just
and
sure
it's
you do.
camp. So if you go to Ballarat in Victoria,
won't be.
yeah,
But okay.
If you,
Sovereign
if you-
Hill?
I love that's my other thing. Can I come back on to talk about Sovereign Hill one time?
I
I did my work experience at Sovereign Hill because I loved it so much.
it probably won't be for a while.
Whenever I have a friend visiting, if you run out of other things to talk about eventually,
but everything
Hill.
else.
I take people to Sovereign
This
Hill.
is our last episode, guys. We're talking about Sovereign Hill.
We're killing ourselves after this.
I did uni at BAPA.
At Sovereign Hill.
Studied acting at BAPA for a year and decided I didn't need the other 2 years.
That sounds about
Were
right.
you a cast member at Sovereign Hill?
For my work experience, I was in high school. I went and stayed there and did my work experience there and walked around in costumes and stuff. Yeah.
Would you like to pay
Exactly.
some
I
gold?
did. You want to make a candle, sir? Anyway, in Ballarat, if you go down the main street of Ballarat, there's a bandstand in the middle of the street, and it has on the top of the bandstand, the Titanic is the wind vane, like you know the
What?
how like chickens on farmhouses, they've got like a Titanic,
Yeah.
and it's actually dedicated to the band's people of the Titanic because one of the band's people was Australian.
Gag.
And
From Ballarat.
had lived there, yeah. Wow. I think was actually UK born, but had lived in Australia and that sort of stuff. And yeah. So there you go.
Wow.
I
We need to
think
go to Ballarat.
they were taking.
Actually, I've been to Ballarat.
Okay.
They once a year on the anniversary of the sinking, I think, they have all of these musicians come and play Nearer My God to Thee and a whole lot of other songs
Jesus
on that
Christ.
bandstand.
I feel like it's laying it on
I'll
a bit
invite.
thick, to be honest. And
been.
the whole thing of
Oh, you think the band thing is laying it on?
Yeah,
In the
yeah.
film. Sorry, I thought you meant
no.
Ballarat,
I mean,
'cause agree with that.
the whole thing, even them being like, "Well, play till the very end," is so embarrassing to me. I don't
Imagine
know.
if
I
they
just
had, if it was
personally
like
wouldn't.
nowadays, I had like a DJ.
Well, I would have got up and done a type 5. I would have done a set. I mean, I would have said, "Let's cheer everyone up."
What is it with these lifeboats? I mean, come on, half of them are being launched half empty. Speaking of half empty, so's my soul.
I just think they could have used a little cheer up. I think they were actually making the vibe worse by playing the sad music.
They did, yeah, maybe Nearer My God. Well, no, they were playing happy music until the end. And
yeah,
then when
they
they
were
were
like-
sort of like, oh, shit.
until the very end. I feel
I
like
love, you know, in the Simpsons movie.
yeah. Yes. I think if I was on the boat evacuating, I would be just sort of pissed off by the more noise going on from the violins. And then 2, I think it's one of those things where, like, you know, when you just cringe so much that you can't even look. I think I would have done, I would be like, oh my God, they're still playing this.
I mean, I think you would have been distracted, but
That's the thing.
I think it's nice. I think
definitely-
they're like,
Well, I probably would have had my.
I mean,
AirPods
like you were
in,
talking
so,
about
like,
having earbuds in and having but you know, people didn't have anything to listen to. They were basically just playing music for people to have a nice time.
I should have sang.
And the amount of money people paid to be on that ship, like I'd want some form of
Yeah.
entertainment till the end.
Like if I'm gonna die, at
They've
least.
closed the floor show downstairs.
I
They've
I
stopped
guess so.
serving drinks. Like,
I feel like if I was in the line to be evacuated, I would have just been on one. Like, there's no way I wouldn't just be yapping like constantly in this line to get on the boat.
yeah, gossiping. Yeah,
Like, do you think that'll be enough room? What do you think? Do you think we'll get on the next one? Or should we go around the other side? Check the other side? What do you think? I mean, Titanic, one of the biggest examples of feminism in a way, in that they were like, get the women off.
Ladies and
I think that was in more of a
Chivalry. So maybe
no. I think in more because they didn't think women then think very much of women.
That they wouldn't survive in the water.
Well,
Women can't float.
Listen, I read the Wikipedia article today for the concept of women and children first on the boat. And they were like, it's because of chivalry, because
I guess
the
it's
men
sort
at
of-
sea,
yeah,
What about the non-binaries?
Well, yeah, I mean, thank God that. I mean, nowadays it would just be way too messy. Like if the Titanic sunk, like where did because women, children, and then I would think gay men, right? And this is just speaking
Bottoms.
into
Yeah. Well, Sam.
bottoms on quick.
Bottoms versus tops. Then lesbians.
They're non-binary people.
This is yeah. No,
Someone needs to kind of write this down, maybe.
Yeah, I actually have a whole bit in my show about this, about going on a gay cruise. I know, it's really...
We won't spoil it.
Well, I have to
No,
get tickets. You have to get
basically just did it.
tickets.
You have to get
That's
tickets.
No, it's
Great
about going on a gay
minds.
cruise and then like trying to work out, well, what happens if this ship goes down? Like, who
Can you
gets-
tell us about? So you mentioned because okay, let's all talk about our experience that was closest to the Titanic. So you've been on a gay cruise.
Okay, well, yes, I have, and I'll tell you about that in a second. But I wouldn't say that that's the closest I've been to my experience on the Titanic, because last year for my birthday, my friend who has a very good sense of humor found this awful Titanic-themed Yarra cruise. So it was on a shitty little wooden boat, but they called it a Titanic cruise. But the ship is nowhere near the ship is the size of
It was a tinny.
a couple of apartments, and it's a boat, and it just goes up the Yarra and turns around and comes back again. And we went and hired like full tuxes and top hats and that sort of stuff. And then we rocked up at the Docklands, and it's just a whole lot of women that are really excited to go on these things, wearing their old like high school formal dress or their like bridesmaids dress from their friend's wedding or whatever. And then a whole lot of like the worst straight men that were not happy to be there at all, that have been dragged along, that are wearing like jeans and a t-shirt.
Yep.
And they're like just standing there looking really dull-faced and bored. Anyway, we get on this boat, and they'd like obviously gone to a prop shop and hired like a couple of props from like a old production of like Little Whorehouse of Texas or something like that. Like it's not period correct.
No, they got like flapper.
And it's just like an arm. Yeah, there really was. And there's just like an armchair there and that sort of stuff. But otherwise, it's just a modern wooden boat.
They had an armchair.
Yeah, and it had like, but then it also on the boat had ships posted like photocopies, like A3 photocopies of the front page of the newspaper from when the ship sank. And it's like, hang on, but we're on, like, if we're supposed to be on the ship, how do we know it sank? And then the food came out, because it was like a free food thing, and you get 2 free drinks with like little tokens. The food came out, and it was like Costco sandwiches.
Wow.
It was
And
the
then
gruel.
this thing was horrible. We had a bag of Coke, so we had an amazing time. We were just, and then this drama happened between this group of girls where they're having a fight with one of the girls' husbands. So we got involved in that, and we're like, you can't talk to her at the moment. Like, it became this whole thing.
Wow.
By the end, I do wish that I had actually have just been on the Titanic and died, because it got quite painful, because then you're stuck with these people on a ship going up.
How
the
long
Yarra.
was the?
About 3 hours.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have been scanning the whole time looking for someone to have like a situationship with for the duration of the cruise.
Yeah.
I don't know if that would be the
And then
demographic.
hope that you.
So-
But yeah, I don't know if that demographic. Would
No,
be
there was
Yeah.
one gay guy in the cast, but I think he said
In a
it just got-
cast.
So because there was like VCA actors that had been.
Oh,
on-
sorry. I thought you meant like in a cast.
No, in
broken
the
arm.
cast
Okay.
of the boat.
In the cast.
Yeah, but I think he'd just gotten.
I said, "Come here."
yeah,
Let's spin around.
He was
I would have taken my top
talking
off.
to me, so I'm gonna say he was up
Draw
himself.
a picture of me. Draw a picture of me naked right now. Let's go to the bathrooms.
But then I've also been on gay cruises.
Okay.
Twice. One of them went for 2. I've never paid. One of them went for 2.5 weeks. It was
Jesus
Fuck
Christ.
the longest. It was the Mardi Gras cruise from Auckland all the way down around New Zealand to Tasmania, and then all the way up the east coast of Australia to Sydney. And it was very expensive. So it was just basically Americans, rich old American men and their toy boys. And so there was like 2 sittings of dinner, and you'd have like all of the old men, like literally some of them had the breathalyzer, what do they call it? The oxygen tanks and stuff. And so you'd go to dinner at 6, and they'd all be there with their boys, like feeding them food and that sort of stuff. But then later, they'd go and put them to bed, and then later in the night, the boys would all be back. And good on them, like there's no judgment.
Yeah,
here.
no.
But they'd all be back for the party later on, and they're all fucking and racking up lines and all that sort of stuff. A friend of mine was performing, so I got to go on for free. So I was just sort of observing the whole thing. It was great. It was amazing. But it was way too long. When it got to Melbourne, because it stopped in Melbourne for like a day, you could get off the boat and go look exploring. I went home and just watched TV. And then got on the boat because I wanted to get to Sydney for Mardi Gras, and then just went back to the Docklands and got back on the boat and went.
That sounds
too much.
Yeah.
2.5 weeks is too much. The second time I went on a gay cruise was so I've got a partner. We've been together 4 years, minus a few days, because on the gay cruise, he broke up with me on the cruise.
Oh my God.
Insane.
And then we were stuck.
You were the Billy Zane.
Yeah, I was the Billy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was the Billy Zane.
Yeah.
Then we were stuck on
the
this cruise ship. You can't go anywhere. And we've got this tiny little cabin.
I would have jumped.
You fucking idiot. Like what?
I would have
Why
jumped.
could you can bite your tongue for a day. Anyway, lucky for me, the Dykes on Bikes Geelong chapter happened to be on the ship, and I knew a couple of the
They in
girls.
the engine room.
They were just there socially. And I knew a couple of them, and they're lovely people. So I just hung out with them and got really pissed with them and had a great time. And then I think my boyfriend was too scared to leave his cabin because he thought the Dykes on Bikes were going to get him. And then we got back to Melbourne, and then a week later he was like, I don't know what I've done. And now we're amazing. Everything's fine. This is a long time ago.
Great.
But
So
so we temporarily broke up on. So I've not really ever had a good time on a cruise. Is what I'm
You
telling
definitely have a stronger spirit than I, because as James was saying,
I would jump.
100% would have killed myself.
Yeah, it wasn't fun.
100% off the back, like Rose.
Yeah.
Off the back of the ship.
But then maybe you would have found a job.
I doubt if I was on the back of
on
that
a gay
ship.
cruise.
If I was on the back of that ship ready to jump, the twinks would gather around and say, "Jump,
Jump, bitch, jump.
Do
Yeah.
a flip.
There's no way I would be coaxed back onto the safety of.
I'd give you a push.
I think you would.
We'd jump together.
I've been on a boat once during Mardi Gras last year. I had the time of my damn life on the boat.
Is this like a harbour cruise?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't
Like
really.
a party boat.
Yeah. I didn't really know
What did
what
you
was
wear
going
out
on.
of interest?
I didn't wear anything nautical themed.
I can't really see you.
In like a speedo, like
No,
on a
I didn't
boat,
see you.
like-
I didn't see you ever really getting into a costume kind of a thing. Oh no, you did your wicked thing. I saw that, but I can't see you ever in like a jockstrap and wings or hot pants and you know.
No, because
Sam wears like shorts and like a Charlie XX t-shirt.
yeah. Well,
Well,
That's you.
sometimes
That's you sort of
done.
going all out, going nuts.
Because I feel like if you're gonna dress up, you know, you got to go all out. Like if the boat was a dress up party, like I would have come in maybe this what you're wearing.
Fuck you, that's so good. Oh, that's the funniest thing anyone's said on this podcast so far.
Or, you know, I would have come as like the
Sorry.
or I might have come as the captain. Like I would have come as something.
One-faced.
Yeah.
You would have been Molly Brown.
Yeah.
You would have been on a ship.
Hello, boys.
All these twinks in their hot pants walking around. And you're just like, you and my son are just about the same size.
Full like long
Fur
sleeve,
coat, big hat.
Yeah. Hello, boy.
Got your suitcases with you.
I would
And
have.
Mr. Brown came home and lighted a fire. He had no idea I'd hidden all the money in the oven.
I feel like I would have been as like Victor Garber as the design. I would have gone like, there's not enough lifeboats for all you twinks. What are we gonna do?
2 hours from now, all of this will be at the bottom of the Atlantic.
Bottom of the Sydney Harbour.
Yeah.
They're like, what?
What?
What did you say?
You got K. Oh, no, it's Sydney. Have you got any G?
So
I just jump like Gabriel.
And then, like, 100 years from now, people are going to be a museum and there'll be these little brown bottles. All Amyl bottles.
They would have said medicine bottles.
Yeah.
Leather cleaner.
Yeah. People will be poking their hands through to touch the angel wings.
So you came across a book that was something like, it was like,
Oh, didn't it look? I've ordered a copy. I was hoping it would arrive in time for this. It hasn't.
Shut up.
It's called the Lost Gay History of Titanic or something like that. It's a novel about theoretically these two gay guys that fall in love on the Titanic.
Oh, bugger
Like
off.
Oh, so it's fan fiction.
It's fan fiction.
I thought it was real.
No, I thought it was real at first, judging by the horrible cover. So the cover is a picture of the Titanic in black and white, like an actual photograph of the Titanic, but with the rainbow flag up the columns,
thing?
the funnels. Yeah. Yeah, that's the cover of the film. But the blurb, he says, so they say 1 in 10 people are gay, and how many people died on the Titanic? 1,500. So this many people must have died. But also they say that 1 in 6 people in the travel industry are gay. So there's probably this. So there was probably this many gay people on the Titanic, which means the Titanic was one of the biggest losses of life for the LGBTI community in any single event. And yet it's not thought of as a queer event. And that's why I've written this book. Isn't that brilliant?
That's cunt.
That is brilliant, because you could use that to apply to anything.
Literally.
You could be like,
MH370.
like exactly. 9/11, like that was a queer event, you know?
The secret gay history of 9/11.
Yeah.
No one thinks of the gay flight attendants we lost in 9/11.
Exactly. So I
because
can't
there
wait.
wasn't
We can do a
flight
sequel
attendant.
to this when I've read it.
Well, I'd like to read it.
We'll have
I'll
a book
lend you.
club.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I
yeah.
mean, you know,
it'll
it's-
be the 3 copies he's ever sold. Yeah,
it's just going to be Jack and Rose, but gay, isn't
yeah,
it?
exactly.
Really?
Yeah.
I was going to kill myself because I'm a faggot. But then another one came and was like, don't do it, slave mama.
Yes.
That's the thing. I feel
You
like
were a friend of... Oh,
Do you-
Dorothy
back in the time?
The book,
No,
right?
they didn't have. Oh, they had the book, but I don't think
Yeah.
the phrase would have been.
Wasn't
around.
too big. So
Are you a friend of Molly?
how long?
She had all the queens with her. She was like,
definitely.
now these boys are my friends.
She would have. She would have had gay friends.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Did how long were they at sea before they sank?
2 nights. Yeah, because it left on April 12th and sunk on 14th. So yeah.
It wasn't long.
Yeah.
Right.
Or
That
10th
was the
and 12th.
last
Yeah, 2
time the
nights.
Titanic saw the sun.
Because you can imagine in the bunks, like there would have been some gay stuff happening. Right?
Oh, there would have been gay stuff happening everywhere.
Literally.
And everyone's gay. Like, everyone's a little bit gay.
Yeah.
That's true.
And I wonder what I want to know, how many people decided to fuck once they found out the ship was sinking?
Yeah, what would you do?
Literally.
Yeah. I
think-
would definitely be like,
Who wants to fuck?
anyone want to fuck?
Yeah,
Or if
yeah.
not, I'm going to go jerk off behind this,
Literally.
I feel like I am very.
staircase over here. Sorry.
I feel like I would want to have that mindset, but then I think I'm usually quite particular with who I have sex with.
I've seen you grinder, and that's a lie.
Listen, that's not a read on anyone in the room, by the way. I'm just sort of a bit more discerning than you two.
Yeah, right.
But I feel like I would have kind of like had this idea of like, I'm just going to fuck when the ship goes down. But then
I think whenever you're faced with certain death, you just want to fuck.
But then I would look through the crowd and be like, oh,
They're all a bit smelly.
yeah. Or just kind of like, hairline
Leo's chained up
receding,
downstairs.
teeth bad.
Yeah.
Like I would have found kind of an ick.
People weren't really looking after themselves in
No.
1912.
Yeah, it depends what class we're in.
14. Yeah.
If it was first class, or maybe inbred. Yeah, I mean, danger's everywhere.
Yeah.
Danger's everywhere. But
I
I
wouldn't be
feel
able
like,
to douche either.
I mean, look, maybe my knowledge of this field purely comes from Downton Abbey, but I think like often like rich gays would like have like a servant that they were in love with, but then they would travel as like their
servant.
They're like, their butler or whatever. Like, oh, there's my man, my butler. But they were actually secretly in
and you
love,
could live
they'd have an
freely
affair.
for just those few hours.
Yeah.
Fucking. Did you say you wouldn't be able to douche? Sorry, I
I
missed
said
that.
you wouldn't be able to do
That's true. There's no douching on the Titanic.
I mean,
It's
if
shared
the-
showers.
on the poop deck.
If the, I mean, if the ship's going down, we're painting. Like it's fine. we're not being particular. Sorry. I don't know.
Shit.
I mean, if I was sharing,
Close all the dampers.
I mean, if I was sharing the cabin with
Four Swedes.
with Leo's,
running like a train. Let's
can
go.
you? No, but can you imagine you're just like you're a gay, DL gay guy, and you're in the cabin, and then Leo, the most perfect twink you've ever
Yeah.
seen, walks in. I'd be like, well, that's the rest of my trip gone.
Yeah.
Because you'd have one eye on him the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you'd be quite. Oh,
Are
it's so
there any
cold in
characters
here.
that you think might be gay?
Well, Well, Victor Garber, of course, the
Yes.
designer of the ship.
Do you think the character that his character, Mr. Andrews, is gay?
Absolutely.
Andrews.
Yeah. And the one who was kind of running it, you know, who was like, let's
Lighthole
go
or whatever his
faster.
name
The
is.
evil
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah. with the
Oh,
mustache.
it's Bruce Ismay. No,
Of course. Sorry.
I think
How could I forget?
no, I think Bruce Ismay is like
Snivelly.
I think he'd be like have like a kink, like a dom lady fetish.
Oh, yeah.
He would want to be. Oh, he'd be like an adult baby. He'd be one of those people.
I see
Human
that.
adult
Yeah.
baby things. Yeah.
I love that moment in the movie where he gets on the boat and just doesn't even look.
Yeah. Oh,
And
and then it starts going down. Past
Yeah. Ooh.
And you're just thinking what's going through your head right
Yeah.
now.
You bastard.
Bastard.
You bastard. You coward. Do you remember when they're on is it the bow? You know, when the ship's gone vertical?
Yeah,
And,
no,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And, all the people are
Rose-
falling, and
Yeah.
I'd be like, wee.
yeah, I
And
mean,
that body hits the thing and spins. Oh.
but yeah, sliding down would be fun.
Oh,
I
yeah.
would go, "Ah, wah, 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 wah." But
Have you seen the footage from when they filmed that?
No,
Because they tilted the whole set
Oh.
and they had like, what are they called? Like stunt
Yeah,
performers
yeah.
in like ye olde clothes sliding down the deck of the thing in real life. It looked really fun.
There's a moment when they're on they're kind of standing on the railing, and you know the ship's going down, so they're on top.
Oh, yeah.
And Rose, I don't know if you remember, she just keeps she keeps staring at everyone. Like she's on there, and
she
then
looks at the baker, and then she looks at the woman that had been holding the baby earlier, and then doesn't have the baby anymore.
I didn't clock that. You know, to be honest, that moment in the film, I was like, "What the fuck is she staring
Well,
at?"
she's like, what? Like they're all looking to each other for like support. I don't know. I thought that was quite well done.
It didn't read for me. I mean, if she was doing that to me, I would be like, "What?"
What? You'd be like, stop looking at me, bitch. You're standing on the bottom of a fucking boat as it goes into the Atlantic Ocean in the
I'd be
middle
like,
of the night.
Fuck you, looking at.
What are you looking at, Minga?
What? I've got something on my face.
I don't understand. How did Leo know how? He's like, he had
jump.
a very like.
Yeah, he was very well educated for someone that
So maybe he knew.
parents
He
died
knew
when
what
he
was coming.
sick. Yeah.
That's the other thing. I feel like they would have got sucked down with the thing.
So Mythbusters did an episode about this.
Really? About them getting sucked down.
And apparently
The door.
not. But everyone at the time thought so. And that's why a lot of the boats went so far away from the ship.
Because they thought that'd be
Because
sucked
they all
down.
worried that there would be heaps of suction. Because they'd never seen anything this big. Like it was all
Yeah.
fear. It was all imagination. That's
I feel sick.
and that's why a lot of them stayed away because they were worried that the suction would continue to suck down for ages after they left and didn't come back for ages.
I just feel
Or
so...
at least that's the story they told in the investigation afterwards, whether or not they were saying that because they wanted to sound better afterwards. But
Truly, the thought of everyone in the ice water just makes me so
They're just like going through with the thing, and they're like sticking the dead bodies.
Oh,
I'm like,
it makes me
no.
sick. Oh, it was so cold. It was so cold.
yeah.
But my other oh god, yeah. I mean, I feel like just hitting an iceberg is just so random. Like
fuck off.
But it
It
in the
is.
literal sense of the word was
I feel like if I was on the ship and they told me that, I would be like, what?
Yeah.
There's something they're not telling us.
Yeah.
Can you it's just the most random
Yeah.
to have the ship sink from hitting an iceberg is just the most random thing I could even think
It
of.
is very random. Well, not really for the time of year. So
No, I just mean cosmically it was random.
cosmically, it's very random. But
That would've
they
been
weren't
me.
following procedures. They should have slowed right
Yeah.
down. They're going through an ice debris field in the middle of the night. They didn't have binoculars. Like,
But
it's sort of random, but like
still
also like
random.
they didn't really take precautions to stop it
Yeah.
happening.
That would have been me like random.
So
Sitting
random.
up in the
That's what
Crow's
Rose,
nest.
that's what Rose was thinking when she was staring at everyone. She wanted to be like, this is fucking random.
fucking what the fuck? Can you believe this?
That's the thing. Like, what are the damn
She's like looking at them
chances?
going, I think this is first class. I'm so sorry, but I don't know if you're supposed to be here.
Yeah, crew is down there,
Yeah.
darling. Well, okay, should we wrap up?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we
Thank
have
you for letting me gas on about the Titanic.
no, we could go
What's it
on.
been,
I mean,
like, 2 hours?
my heart will go on definitely. That's last question. Do you believe that the heart does go on?
Does my heart go on? Look, I haven't been on a cruise where it did yet, but I think
the cruise that we go on together will change things.
yeah, I
three
think
of us.
I think so. Yeah, I believe. Yeah, my heart will go on. Yeah,
Okay. My heart certainly does.
My heart
Does not.
doesn't exist.
Definitely not.
I don't have one.
I think I would give up, if I was Rose, I would give up the door for Jack because he's so beautiful. Oh my God. I would say take it. Take my jacket, take my dress, take it all.
Take all the money. Take the heart of the ocean.
I'd be in there being like, I'm fine. It's warm actually.
Yeah, I'm actually
Oh, it's
fine.
lovely actually in here.
Yeah.
It's like I'm in a bath.
Don't worry about it. Yeah.
I would do that thing where I would like get him on the board and then I'd be like, you must be so warm up there, like sort of teasy, like, no, it's fine, like I don't care. You must be like really warm.
I'm glad that you're warm.
I would have been, oh, it's fine. Like, I actually wish it could be colder.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm actually hot
Can
in
we
here.
get the temperature down a little bit? Hot.
Hello, staff. Can we get the temperature down? Okay, well, we have a criteria in which we determine whether to let things through our gate. So the first one is quality. And I guess, what are we talking about? Are we talking about the film? Probably, right?
Well, the quality of the film is excellent. The quality of that boat.
I mean, the ship. Well, I think. Listen, I think the quality of the boat was quite good, built in Ireland, as we know. But I think it was almost a freak accident because of
It was unsinkable.
and
This ship will never go down.
The iceberg scraped along the side, like
And it
just.
opened up 4 compartments.
Can you imagine the
Yeah.
sound that made?
Oh
That-
yeah,
it's like
God.
nails on it.
Oh, stop it. So I think the ship did have quality. I think the movie has quality.
The movie definitely has quality.
Yeah.
Does it slay?
I think it does.
I think it's
Good
slay.
golly.
Both slays.
just being on the Titanic would have been one of the most slay events of 1912.
Absolutely.
Pre-sinking, sorry.
Yeah.
But even after, you'd have
But
the
surviving
story.
even, yeah.
Yeah. What
Rest
a
of your
story.
life.
Come back and you'd be like,
Yeah.
you guys would never guess what fucking happened.
And you've decluttered all your stuff
Literally.
as well.
Literally. I needed to get rid of all
The
that
group
shit.
chat, guess what?
Guys, me doing a voice recording like on the
Just by Morse code.
bitch,
like-
you will never guess. Fucking freezing. I'm stuck on this boat with all these random people.
These random ass
Fucking
people.
ship sank. Can you believe? What the
There's this
fuck?
guy sitting at the very end of the lifeboat just staring out to sea, not talking to anyone.
Literally. Like, all these fucking people keep looking at me. I've got my AirPods in. Do not fucking talk to me.
Do not disturb.
Literally.
Okay, so it does slay.
Does it benefit the queer agenda? Well, that book.
There's the book we have to
There's
read.
the book. There's
I feel-
Leonardo DiCaprio. I don't think we would have. I don't think Leo would have had
The career.
the long-lasting career he has now if it wasn't for Titanic.
Absolutely.
I feel
not.
like I don't. It was like a little bit before my time, but probably would have awoken something in me seeing that boy at.
Yeah,
And it seems to me that, like, the gay guys were out to see Titanic when it came out.
absolutely. Yeah, and Mrs. Keane. Yeah,
Keen.
The gay guys and Mrs. Keane.
She was kind of the Molly Brown of
she was. Yeah, she was sort of the Molly Baron of Aspendale, where I grew up. Yeah,
Aspendale. Where's Aspendale?
southeastern suburbs of Melbourne.
Oh, fabulous.
Yeah, that's fine.
Don't look it up.
And
Okay, yes.
but also like for the
It was- they
campness,
killed
like
so
when you
many
look at the
queer
film and you look at the
people.
costumes and stuff, like that's camp.
Oh yeah.
And even
So that's gay.
Yes, definitely. I just realized the rubrics on your phone. So
Yes, I remember it though. Equality, does it slay? Does it benefit the queer agenda? Was I gagged?
Oh my
Absolutely.
god.
Yeah.
I mean, I as an audience member was gagged. The captain was gagged. The crew was gagged.
Yeah.
The
And
passengers.
seeing it in
Everyone
3D
except
as well.
Rose. It doesn't look any bigger than the Mauritania.
Period.
Yeah, Rose was not gagged. That's another thing.
She was like, fuck it. It's
She
a boat,
was-
whatever.
she was-
She was like me down at the Docklands. Give me a bag.
I even seeing it in 3D, it was like, whoa,
Yeah.
the iceberg.
Yeah,
it was
my God.
gaggy.
The 3D was just incredible.
What is the last criteria?
I think that is Dahl.
It's 5. Quality, does
Can't
it slay?
remember.
Does it benefit the queer agenda? Was I gagged?
We don't know our own damn criteria. Oh,
Do you wanna check it?
the biggest challenge we've
Nah,
faced
'cause I
yet. Yeah, look.
This is crazy.
Well,
do you want to go to the end of the last episode?
oh, look, it'll be fine.
Well, I mean, it's getting in, isn't it?
Now I've got to find the sound. God, we're really out of practice. I'm so sorry, everyone. Oh, God, I've got a recipe up on my phone.
It could be a
Listen, we're not going to play the sound. Insert sound here. Insert sound here. Hopefully we've heard it.
Well, yes, the Titanic is getting through the gate.
Yay!
So that means you're calling it. See, because I still don't think. Well, cool, great, yay!
Do you not want it to get through?
No, I can get through. I don't really care. It's your metaphorical gate anyway.
Like, I don't care about this fucking shit podcast.
I've had enough.
It's gorgeous. I love
Oh,
it.
this is the shit.
It was a ship of dreams.
Okay, so that's done.
That's done.
So your show coming out. Did we talk about your show?
No, but we can if you
Tell
like.
us all about it.
Your big show.
I'm doing a show called Thomas Jaspers is Revolting. It's on the 9th and 10th of February at Comedy Republic. It's me telling stories from the last 20 years on the gay scene. Just lots of dick stories about, being on gay cruises and, going clubbing and waking up at various people's houses and that sort of stuff. So come. It's fun. It's trashy.
Great.
It's gay. You'll love it.
We can't wait. We'll be seated.
We will be seated.
We'll be going down with that ship.
Yeah, heaven.
Don't you worry.
No, we can't wait. Everyone buy your tickets. Thomas Jaspers is Revolting.
Yeah, Comedy Republic.
You can Google it.
Well, thank you. This is our
Thank you
first
for
episode
listening.
back.
Yeah,
Thanks
we're
for listening.
back.
We're
We've got
back. Better than ever.
some-
The Patreon's up and running.
Yes.
Make sure you subscribe.
We've got some huge things coming.
Big things coming. Bigger than the Titanic. Let me
Bigger
tell
than
you.
the damn Titanic.
Sovereign Hill.
Bye.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.